Hello, welcome to the House of the Spirit. Welcome home. This reading is going to be a special reading. It's a collective reading. I haven't done this in a long time, but I think that this would be a great moment to do that because I feel a lot of shifts happening and a lot of collective movements. So I would like to dive into those and to try to understand the nature of what is happening for us all, especially us that connect online, because as most of you know, there are a lot of shifts and changes there and how these platforms operate. And I do feel like that's going to also awaken something in people, something different, like a different way, maybe a different approach to life is going to emerge from this, because there's a lot of knowledge that we are getting, connecting in this world wide web. And I feel like everything that changes that, it changes also, it kind of arranges our psyche, also our collective psyche. Okay, so I will be using some runes also, but I will start with some lunar oracle cards, and then we'll get some zodiac signs out also in the end of the reading and see how this applies to each one of the zodiac signs. Okay, so we have the second moon mansion with musician. Interesting. It's all about expression. So there might be an opportunity here also for the arts. And 19, that 19th moon mansion, sorry, two paths. There might be two ways or two different energies kind of pulling us apart, maybe, or trying to tear something apart. Okay, then we have the black moon in water. This is the new moon and dormant stage, and the keyword, sorry, the word is isolation. Isolation, right? Okay, so maybe now I see how the two paths can operate. So we have two paths, possible paths. One is to operate with art, to express ourselves artfully. And this is to interpret this as an opportunity also. There's some sort of creative solution here. Opportunity to create, opportunity to have a creative outlet. And then you have the isolation. So I feel like these are the two paths. Okay, so I will get the rune now. Let's get a rune. Let's see. Okay, we have the Berkana. Beautiful. That's a really positive energy. It's about fertility, about rebirth, creation, new ways, regeneration. So I would say that there are actually two options that are on my mind right now. So one is that this is an opportunity to create something new. So maybe, so we're seeing what's happening and all the changes, like in legislation and how we are allowed to connect online, but also how these platforms and these powerful institutions are influencing our daily lives. So we have the option to create something completely different from what it is right now. There's that. there's the possibility that what is established right now needs to change completely. So it would be something that we wouldn't recognize right now. So maybe it's something that's still invisible. Okay, it's not, at least it's not widely known. Maybe it's even a new technology, a new way, or just like a completely different approach to how we connect as a collective. It's very interesting. So there's that. And there's also the possibility of connecting or somehow balancing these two opposing paths. Because you have two paths and they're going parallel into the horizon. They don't touch. But Berkana can be about marriage. And how about if there's a marriage of these two opposing energies? That's a possibility. But let's see what else we have for this collective. And how is the collective changing? And what do we need to know? What do we need to understand? Let's start with these. 9 of Cups. Okay, I'll put this here. Princess of Staves. And Kuan Yin with the sacrifice. And this is the Hangman. I do believe that we might need to make a few sacrifices. Maybe things will not be as convenient, but they need to be like that because it means that we can connect again, that there's the possibility for us to connect again in a healthy way. Because I do feel like we're going to continue to have this connection that is spiritual in nature, that is very emotional. There's going to be a lot of emotional fulfillment in the collective. Beauty that is shared, something that ignites the passions of a lot of people and that motivates them to move forward. Now I want to get some different oracle cards out and see where is this taking us and why is this important for our spiritual evolution. Sun in Scorpio with endurance. Mercury in Aquarius with originality. So I do believe that this will be a test to human ingenuity. So how do we solve this problem? What solutions will we find? Are we really that limited? Are we really that restrained or constrained? Are there really real constraints here, or is it possible for us to find a different way? So it's uncertain that these two paths are going to either meet or diverge. So I do feel like there's a possibility for them to meet again, but maybe for now they're going to diverge. Jupiter in Capricorn with control. Mars in Sagittarius with domination. Sun in Sagittarius with enthusiasm. And Moon in Aquarius with independence. Yeah, I do feel like there's something that's kind of like temporary here. And the evolution and the creation is happening at such a rapid pace that I feel like there's a lot of trial and error here. And that according to the response and according to the reaction of the collective, we are all creating this reality together. And it's really important that people realize the power that they hold. And it's enormous. I feel like it's like your creation is the most important thing for this to work together. So it seems like you're just doing your own thing and you're focusing on your passion, you're focusing on your hobby, or you're doing something that's contributing to this collective, and you're not paying attention maybe to how important it really is. So it seems like there's kind of a pressure. I would say it would be like a spiritual pressure to test us, to see how truly independent and autonomous the human spirit is. Are we that restrained? Are we that conditioned? Conditioned would be the best word for this. Let me see if I can fix this light here. Okay, I hope that's better. So I think I'll get a different deck eventually, but let's see. So where is this taking us, and how does the collective how does this collective contribute to this evolution? Seven of Swords, the World with Gaia, Prince of Staves, Okay, I'll get some oracle cards for the outcome. There's a lot of cards, but let's see. Let's go with it. So we have Mercury in Gemini with excitement, Venus in Capricorn with convention, Mars in Scorpio with revenge, and Jupiter in Cancer with speculation. Okay. Once again, I feel like it seems like there's less control than it seems. So it seems like we are freer than we think we are, and that there are tests coming, like there's trial and error here, there's experimenting, there are new ideas coming also, and I do feel like a lot of what is hidden for now will actually not only be revealed, but most of it will disappear. And it's interesting that we're talking about a collective, and we are mostly connecting online, but with the world here, it feels like there's a part of the world that's going to disappear. And maybe that part wasn't truly what it seemed to be. It's like a part of this world disappears because it was falsely created. And new ideas will emerge from this, I wouldn't say, it's like a filtering, it's like a new filter. A new filter will be implemented and new ideas will emerge because of that. It's like new ideas are needed. I really feel like this urgency for creativity, for new ideas to emerge, for people who have new approaches to come forward and to share it much more than before. I will also get some goddess. Okay, just one. Wow. So we have Kali. Kali is the great destroyer. So when I was saying the filter, this is the filter. And Kali is a great filter. It's a great test for lies, because one of the powers of Kali is to destroy ignorance. So it might be painful, it might be violent even sometimes. For some people it might be a very like an assault on the senses. And even in the character of Kali, the drawings of Kali Ma, you see how she is just really strong and extreme. So it's all about the extremes of life, right? You have the skulls, the arms, and all the representations of death. It's a bit like a gore image, right? It's all that's really even taboo, things that are taboo. It's a great test. It's a great challenge to me. So I would say that the danger here would be to be too caught up in the process itself and to be too enraged, to be, maybe that's why we need to sacrifice something. Because there's this danger of isolation here. And I believe that what destroys this possibility, because it's not a good possibility, is the expression of art. So it's like you have a problem that can have a very even a very scientific shape, or like it presents itself as a problem that's technical, that is approached by scientists, that is considered something from the domain of science, for example, or something that needs rationality. And actually, the solution is in art. It's like there's some sort of roundabout way. And maybe this is why we also have the two paths. And it seems like one path is straighter or more straightforward than the other. And I think that if we face this head on, and if we are very confrontational, it ends up creating more confusion. So you need to take what seems like it's a side quest, it's a different path. It might seem like it's further from the objective, it might seem like it's all twisted and strange, but I feel like that's the path. And that's why you also have Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin is all about this the way of empathy, the way of compassion and of the heart. So it means to me that although the problem is has this energy of kalima, like this, it's like a great danger, a great taboo, a great challenge that we face as a collective. The way to address it is actually soft, to get to be softer, to be more pliable. I'm also thinking about Bruce Lee's famous quote, "Be like water, my friend." I love Bruce Lee, and I love that quote. I feel like it's he was such a great representation of what I'm actually trying to explain, because it's kind of also embedded in a lot of martial arts. So because sometimes when you're in a tight grasp, you, in order for you to escape that grasp, you need to be relaxed. If you relax completely, the person who is trying to grab you, the tension is not, it's never enough. So it's like they have to pick up like a dead weight, and that's extra effort. Okay, so if you're tense, you're kind of helping your foe, let's say. And yeah, I feel like that, so that there's that, and there's this other layer here of a lot of things that are false, disappearing. Let's get some information on that, maybe. Okay, you have the Empress, Essanatlehi, with fertility. I feel like this is all about creativity. Nine of Cups, the musician, this is really, really important. This is the way, okay? So people who have very interesting personalities, people who have very artistic and charismatic personalities, creative people. I feel like there's this urgency. It's urgent to be creative. It's like if let me see how I can phrase this. If there's one thing that humanity needs right now, is creative people. And it's almost like life or death situation here. You have Kalima. This is serious. This is really serious. And I felt like that. Like I tried to do this reading before, but it wasn't working, and I was interrupted, and there were a lot of hiccups. So I just gave it up, and I gave it some time. Like I need to let this kind of sink into my psyche a little bit, because I feel like there's just this fear, there's a lot of tension. And now I see there's a different approach, and I see the softness. Because the feeling is this, the feeling is like urgent, there's a lot of fears that are being triggered, everyone is triggered, everyone is so tense, there's so much anxiety, and how do I say this? It's actually interesting that I heard this phrase right now, like to escape judgmental not situations. And I don't want to like point fingers at anyone. It's not specific. There's this kind of judgmental environment that we are living in right now, and I feel like it's really tense. It's making everything tense. Like social interactions are tense, even online, even there's just a lot of pointing fingers and a lot of blaming. And I feel like maybe the way, if people have a creative outlet and people can express themselves and can help each other with their creativity, maybe that's the way to end the isolation and to finally achieve some sort of balance here. Justice, balance. Athena, there's a lot of wisdom, okay, that comes from this artistic approach. So it's like having an artistic approach to a scientific problem, if that makes sense. Nine of Swords. Yeah, and the Fool. Beginnings with Tara. It feels like it's so the only way to escape this kind of, it's a sort of madness, right? It's a sort of like spinning. There's no way out. Like this cyclical thoughts. They're just going round in circles. So the way to step out of this, the Fool steps out in faith, steps out into the unknown, and jumps off the cliff, knowing that they have the resources and the trust in God to know that they are going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. And the only way to achieve this is by creating. So another thing here is that something new must be created. So we're thinking that this is only like we have to deal with the world as it is, and actually no, something new is going to be created. And maybe, but it only happens, yeah, it only happens after something false is ended. Something false ends. Oh, okay. So we have Temperance, balance with Yamana. It feels like it's going to take a little bit of time because it's painstaking work. It's detailed. It's something that requires diplomacy, minutia, and parsimonious. That's what I'm thinking. Like the resources have to be managed very well. You can't just waste your energy here. This is how I'm seeing this. You can't just do it all at once, but it has to end. Two of Cups. I feel like it's to allow trust here. Faith in the other, trust. No paranoia or nightmares, no fear. Just this bond of trust that I feel like may be challenged by this tension here, this challenge of Kalima, and of deciding which way to go, like what is the path. And I also feel like this divergence is already in place. There's already a lot of divergence, and maybe it's too much. We need to meet in the middle again. Berkana. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. I hope that I'm not messing this up. And so I was going to see So how does this affect this collective, this specific collective? Nine of Staves. I do feel like it might be also me, okay? But I see so many people around me that are worried. There's a lot of worry. Like we need to be vigilant, okay? This is the Nine of Staves. We need to take care of this. This is not possible. This is going awry. I do feel like there are a lot of that's a kind of a widespread feeling, okay? That something is going awry. And many times we feel like, okay, something's wrong. This is awkward. This is strange. And a lot of the times we have these feelings. But I feel like it's another layer here. It's an increase in that. And it's also like feeling like the paths are just tearing us apart. There's a lot of divergence and to the union, the balance, the justice, the trust is too scarce. And if it becomes too scarce, we begin to be in this constant state of worry and fear. And this is when Kalima comes in the picture. And she just comes with a vengeance. And she will destroy whatever is causing people to be blinded, people to be ignorant. So I feel like this collective, and you if you follow my channel, I have faith that each one of you has your own spiritual path that I respect and that I want to honor. And I feel like if you come to this reading, you want to do something good for yourself and also for everyone else, for humanity. So if you can help destroy that ignorance and also to create harmony and trust and union to help balance this extra hypervigilance and this worry, I believe that that's a beautiful way to serve mankind. And I feel like this reading is all about that. Like, how are we in this collective able to serve each other? And what is the best way? And it's not only to be like all, peace and love and flowers and everything is so perfect. Sometimes there's harshness and lessons can be learned with a lot of painful experiences. And I believe that Kalima is telling us that this pain is coming from a place where we can learn so much. How trust is created, how bonding is so important, and how seeing eye to eye and having that patience, having that time for each other, that space in each one of us, so that we can be just in our thoughts of each other and also judging ourselves, like not being so harsh and not creating illusions also, because I feel like there's a lot of illusions here, and I'm not saying that this is specific to this collective, but there's certainly a lot of illusions that are being created, a lot of projections and smoke and mirrors, okay? And while that is being destroyed and while the truth is being revealed, the best thing we can do is to be creative and to find solutions, to find ways to continue to create and to express the joy that we feel with each other and with life. Like a musician is spontaneous in that expression. A musician is also about opportunities, taking opportunities, taking good opportunities, and also seeing those opportunities, because two paths here, I believe that there's a path that has more opportunities than the other. So I'll get the zodiac signs now. Let's see, where do they fall? So I'm going to do this differently, and I'm going to just put them facing down and then turn them around. Let's see. Okay, let's just spread them out and see what's going to happen. And where is this going? Look here. Okay, so let's start with this one. So we have Libra. Libra, you have that vision. You have to keep holding on to it and to focus on beautiful things, like focusing on doing things beautiful, turning them into more beautiful, more positive, and helping others see that beauty, teaching how to see beauty. That would be beautiful. Or expressing the beauty. I do feel like you have this role of connection to the other, so that's why I'm talking about teaching, or there's some kind of interaction with Libra always, and that Libra energy. So connecting with people in the context of beauty and art, that would be a great way to contribute to the collective, and to also for your health overall, like mental health, emotional, physical. Scorpio with originality. So that's not hard for Scorpio. Scorpio people that I know are always very original in thinking. They're unafraid to go to all those places that most people would consider a bit dangerous or taboo. So I would say that focusing on different thoughts, and I'm also sensing, like, because Scorpio is also water sign and sometimes connected to past, and when I say past, I would say something really ancient that might be very appealing to you, and that might be inspiring for you somehow, and you might feel like, wow, this is so original. This is such a different thing. I've never seen it. And although it's very ancient, there's something original about that. So I would say that it would be interesting for you to keep investigating something in that regard. And Scorpio people are always are also really good at investigating, like detective work, and investigating things like in libraries, or like uncovering things that are hidden. Okay. Gemini, we have, you were between isolation and sacrifice. So Gemini, I can't imagine a Gemini person being too isolated, because they enjoy communicating, they enjoy the exchange, and it's almost like the way Gemini thinks, right? So there's something here about you also being alone. And for you, at least for now, I'm not sure if that's something that's entirely negative, okay? I would say that that might be positive for you, So that was interesting. I was interrupted, so I was alone. I was focusing on what I was doing, and then there was an interruption. So there's kind of this alternation between your spirit, your connection, your own reasoning, your own thoughts, and the outside. It's like there's this clear divide and this interaction that might be, sometimes it might require some kind of sacrifice. So either you can, or you feel the need to sacrifice your alone time, or you feel the need to sacrifice socializing and connection and communication, maybe. But let's see. Okay, so we have Aquarius here. So I feel like Gemini and Aquarius might be connected in this regard in some aspect. I'm trying to figure out why or how. Okay. So I feel like there might be a special connection between Aquarius and Gemini. So maybe for Gemini, there's an Aquarius person that's going to be very significant in your life right now. And also the reverse might be possible. I feel like there's this teaming up of Aquarius and Gemini. And maybe you can learn from each other. There's some sort of deeper understanding that Gemini and Aquarius have at this particular time. Maybe it's also something in the astrological events, and I don't have anything in mind at the moment, but I will investigate and maybe put it in the comments. I feel like there's this nice partnership, okay, between Aquarius and Gemini now. I even feel like there's a possibility of Aquarius bringing a lot of loving energy and a lot of like feeling understood. It's like you understand Gemini, you understand where they come from, and they also connect to you on a level that other people don't. That's interesting. Cancer. So you're here between control and domination. That's really a powerful combo here. Jupiter in Capricorn and Mars in Sagittarius. So I feel like at this time you're going to have a very so your role is very proactive. It's like you have to have a very proactive, dynamic approach to what is happening and to your situation. So maybe this is also connected to Jupiter energy. There's this exaltation of Cancer. And maybe this specific situation that I tried to portray in this reading and this collective, Cancer energy is going to express itself as more dynamic and more proactive than maybe what is usual. So you might need to be in places of leadership and take initiative, take a lot of initiative. So it's like things don't move if you don't take the initiative, and maybe that's a little bit strange for Cancer, because Cancer is more accepting, nurturing, and they embrace people like family, okay, like a nuclear family. And they have this tendency to attach very, maybe even a little bit too hard, to be very attached to situations or to people. And I feel like you have to embrace maybe positions of authority and to take the initiative and to kind of make people, move when usually you would just be more accepting or more receptive. Okay, Capricorn, with enthusiasm, you're here with the sun in Sagittarius. Capricorn, it feels like it's a good time for you to experience positivity. It feels really a little bit lighter than the other signs that I have read until now. It seems a little bit lighter, and it seems like things you have the possibility to see more positive outcomes and positive solutions here. Maybe it's a really like a practical, pragmatic approach that's going to be very useful here. And I feel like you're ready to go. That's the energy that I'm feeling, like positivity and optimism. Like I want to do this. I want to face this. I like the challenge. Maybe in this collective, you're going to be one of the signs that's going to be enjoying the challenge, okay? Enjoying the fight, let's say. Okay, then we have Pisces here in the Nine of Staves and the Empress. Let me see. So I feel like you're going to have an unusual energy for Pisces. It seems like the usual creativity and insight that Pisces energy usually brings to the table is going to make people more aware of the things that they have to deal with. That's so interesting. And that's also adding to what I was saying about the artistic way and the more creative approach that's going to actually be very useful. And I think that that's where your energy comes in. So you're going to be one of the signs that's going to bring a lot of creativity, a lot of new ideas, experimentation. The experimentation is the most fruitful, productive approach here, because it is going to be trial and error. And I feel like Pisces can be contributing to that greatly. Okay. Leo, you're here with the Temperance and the Seven of Swords. It feels like you're kind of the champion, okay, defending people who are more vulnerable or situations that need protection, that need safety. Somehow this is, I feel like for you, Leo, the safety of the vulnerable is going to have some importance, specifically, maybe even like younger people, because Leo is a very young sign, and sometimes it's a little bit childish and fun to be around. So it feels like you're protecting that, like protecting innocence, protecting purity and vulnerability. I would say that that's going to also heal this collective, and there's also a possibility of you, while healing yourself, helping other people, and especially people who are vulnerable. I feel like you're going to be their champion. You're going to be the warrior, okay? The knight that appears in a moment of despair and of loss of hope even. Okay. Sagittarius, you're here uniting the Two of Cups, the world, convention, temperance. So I feel like you're going to see exactly, you're going to see the way. You're going to be the one from all of the signs that I've seen up until now. I feel like you're the one who sees the way. You see exactly the way out. It's much more intuitive for you than I feel is for the rest of the signs here. I feel like you already know exactly what to do. You're just kind of waiting for the right time. And it will come. But it might take a while. It might take a while, like a few months, okay? This is not yet possible. But you know you have, you know you're on the right track, and you have what it takes, okay, to have this connection, to make this happen. That's what I'm listening. Like, I'm going to make this happen. I know exactly how, and I'm just waiting for the opportunity. I don't know how this resonates. So maybe this is a more personal thing also. Because maybe there's something happening in your private sphere that's also connected to this whole collective movement, okay? And so the timing for you is very personal. And you know exactly what to do. You're just waiting for the right time. So then we have Taurus here. Taurus, I feel like you're experiencing this as a very strong challenge. I feel like this is a great challenge for you. It's you feel like the change is really abrupt. It might affect your stability. It might affect your your how do I say this? Your structure, even the structure of your life. Maybe you have to begin something from scratch, and you're able to do that. You just need a little bit to adjust. You need a breather, and you definitely should take a breather, because Kalima's energy is you know, is a bit of an onslaught. Okay, it never stops. When I feel like, when I study this energy and I meditated on this connection to Kalima, it's like time passes, and time is merciless, right? It just flows nonstop, and sometimes we just wanted to pause the clock, right? And to pause the world, like, stop spinning, let me just take a breather. It feels like that to me, like you want to just stop all these changes. I just want to, you know, adjust and have time for my body and my soul and my emotional world to adjust. And although that's not going to happen, you should make the space for yourself as much as you can, and use your personal power to create that space of breath, okay? That space for you to pause, to reflect, to adjust, and to adapt to what is coming. That is new, not only for you, it's new for everyone. Something is coming that is completely different. Okay, Virgo, Nine of Swords. So I feel like there's, the Virgo would be the sign that might be worrying the most here. And maybe it's because the changes are chaotic. And Virgo likes order, likes repetition and knowing what's going to happen, a certain routine, a certain system. That's um, a Virgo characteristic, but I'm generalizing. And but specifically in this reading, the worry and the nightmare situation is just a nightmare, okay? It's not going to manifest. But worrying too much might create negativity. It might materialize the negativity that you're worrying about. So I would take care. I would be careful with your thoughts, and I would try to dissipate those thoughts and that energy, maybe by exchanging ideas with people who are more positive and who have the answers, who are trying to find answers and trying to find positive outlooks and positive outcomes. Okay, so associating with people who are more enthusiastic and who are more pragmatic, down to earth. Sorry. So, but also people who are more focused on beauty and joy. Try to share more moments with that kind of energy, because that is what is lacking here. That would be an advice for you. Okay. Aries, with beginnings. It's very appropriate. It's very Aries energy. Just do it, right? It's just not worrying, not overthinking, not trying to stop the clock, not trying to stop anything, just going for it. So you are certainly going to be one of the signs that are going to help the collective experiment, and through this trial and error, just have that movement forward and never giving up, never taking things just never taking defeat, never accepting defeat, never taking no for an answer. This is the way we defeat itself. So, that's interesting. So you defeat your own sense of defeat if you don't give up, and if you keep coming back, and if you just do it and not overthinking, no overthinking, no anxiety, no dreaming about nightmare scenarios. It's a bit careless sometimes, it's true, but it's trial and error. I do feel like people who have this kind of temperament are going to have an easier time in this context of this collective, because trial and error is really what is needed right now. So that's why the creative personalities and the creative approaches are so good. But you have to experiment. You can't just be waiting for the perfect time or waiting for the perfect material resources or something like that. Just experiment with what you have and go from there. But just do it. Just keep yourself moving and experimenting, and have faith that God will provide if you just keep trying. That's really interesting. It's very positive, and it's great that it's the end of this reading, because it's like not taking no for an answer, okay? Don't take no for an answer. So if you think that things are going awry and that things are taking a turn for the worse, know that you have more power than you think to turn things around and to change the path. Choose a different path, create a different path, open path, open the the forest where there's just trees. Just open a path, create a new path. Or go out into the sea. Just try different ways, okay? So there's this experimental, creative moment. Okay. There's something here also about concentrating efforts into specific areas. And that would be, I believe, for every sign here. So in everything that you do, concentrating on novelty, concentrating on creating newness. It can be rebirth also. It can be like regenerating, rebirth, recreating, creating newness. It can be something that comes from the past also, like recreating, because you also have this scorpionic energy here that is connected to originality. So there's originality that comes from the origin of things, that comes from the past also. So studying the past and knowing how to recreate, knowing how to create newness from what we know, from what is. There's something that's really making a difference, okay, here. That's what I'm sensing. And that I think that this is valid for everyone here. Although Scorpio has that message specifically, but you have the Berkana, and it is about newness, okay? New creations and nourishing new things, like a newborn baby that is nourished by the mother who is tending. So you have Kuan Yin also here, yeah. So there's this need for the new, to cradle the new, to create conditions for the new, to work towards what is original, that comes from the origin, or that is newborn, newly born. And that also aids in regenerating, in making something grow again, something that could be stagnant, something that could be dying even. So regeneration, rejuvenation. Okay, I think that's it for now. I hope this was helpful. It was for me. It was a process because I haven't done these collective readings for a long time, and the last one that I tried, it was just this constant hiccups and interruptions and things going awry. So it really didn't work. Even the camera just shut down, and without me noticing. So I was reading for no one. So crazy things. But finally, I got this, and yeah, just tell me what you think. And if this was useful for you, I would love to know. And yeah, and have some feedback from you. And yeah, thank you so much for this. If you also enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye.